Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Aaron Ashman. Today we're back with another vlog. Today's vlog is going to be on some New Year's resolutions that some of my friends have been talking about, and almost all of them are pertaining to diet. Now, since that is probably going to be true for most of my viewers out there, I just wanted to give you some helpful input so that you might achieve whatever you want to achieve faster. Now, the thing about diet is that many people have the misconception that, if you go online and start a diet, just pick up any diet and start doing everything according to it, you're going to achieve the shape that you want to get into. But that is not necessarily true, because over 90% of the diets that exist out there either have no factual evidence that they work or make no theoretical sense. Now, the other 10%, within the other 10% that do work, they're either restrictive upon the age groups that they're in, so you might want to check on those studies too, and they take in macronutrients at amounts which is probably not humanly possible for an average person to do. So including all that, in reality, your final diet that might actually work with all the diets that are online, maybe just 1% of the diets that are online, and that is probably going to be very hard for you to find anyways. So I'm going to give you some inputs as to what you can do in order to construct your own diet. Now, the first thing is that many people also have the misconception that as long as you burn off the calories that you intake, you're going to be fine. That is true. That statement has its own merits, but that is not true when it comes to cases like having junk food or, things that are very hard on sugars and things of that nature, like sodas. People say that, just if you drink a can of Coca-Cola, you can just go and run for 20 minutes and you'll burn off all the sugar. That's not really how the system works. Sucrose is primarily the sugars that are these sodas are composed with. And as a result, it's very hard for our bodies to break those down. And instead, it's much easier for our body to store that as additional fat. So sometimes carbohydrates and these simple sugars can contribute greatly to you gaining weight, and not the type of weight that you want to gain. Rather than, if you think that, rather than thinking that you can just burn them off easily. That's just not true. That's simply not true. And the other thing is, exercise has very little to do with weight loss. And that has been proven with countless studies that has been done. If you want to learn more about exercise, the relationship between exercise and weight loss, check the description below. I'll be linking the video over there. Healthcare Triage does an amazing job explaining the correlation between them. But the correlation between them, it's basically non-existent. Even though exercise has multiple health benefits, including helping you carve up the shape of the body that you really want to get to. Yes, of course, exercise can facilitate all of that, but exercise has very little or nothing to do with weight loss. So go check that out. And the other thing is, since I just mentioned that exercise has very little to contribute to weight loss or weight gain, the other major thing is diet. And like I said, most of the diets out there are not relevant. But the two key things about diet are true is the fact that if you're trying to gain muscle, you should probably go for a surplus, a caloric surplus. And on average, an American consumes about 2,000 calories per day. If you're trying to build muscle, then you might want to go on maybe 2,500, maybe 3,000. 3,000 is currently what I consume myself. So 3,000 calories is a very good estimate to go for. And the other thing is a caloric deficit. That's if you're trying to lose weight, or if you're trying to, not bulk up or anything of that nature. And in that case, you might want to reduce your caloric intake to about 1,500 calories. And then now the question arises as to what kind of calories should you compose your meals of. Some people say it should be 90% protein, 10% carbohydrate, different percentages. Now, the truth is, in all reality, the only thing that's actually going to build muscle is protein. That is true. But if you have protein in excess, it's not really going to help you. Let me explain. If your body does not get enough carbohydrates or not enough fat, what's going to happen is that your body is just going to take the necessary proteins needed to build or rebuild the muscle that you tore during the time that you exercise or anything of that nature, and then the rest of the protein the amino group from the proteins are going to be separated from the rest of the protein, and as a result, what's going to be left is fat, and the rest of that will be stored as fat, or that might be, used to do other irregular functions within your body. But your protein can't generate as much energy needed to regulate other functions in your body as carbohydrates or fats can. So it's important to have a balance. Having 100% protein or 90% protein, I don't think is a viable option for anybody, because even if you do try to do that, you'll still have cravings for carbohydrates and monosaccharides and glucose-rich or sucrose-rich foods, and that's something that you'd want to avoid. So a healthy proportion I would propose is 30% carbs, 20% fat, and 50% protein. That is, if you're trying to build muscle and lose weight at the same time. Now, that is not an exact proportion for every single person. You can have your own proportion if you like. If you think there's something that works for you, that's amazing. But cleaning up your diet is very important. And some people say that you should have 10% or 20% fiber. I don't assign a percentage to these things, because every time you actually do consume meats or any protein-rich products, you should be having some sort of greens with it, like broccoli or lettuce, something of that nature. And you would want to do that so that your stomach fills up with things that are not high in sugar or high in these macromolecular contents, but you will still feel filled for the rest of the day, so you will have less of those cravings for the things that you would enjoy on a day-to-day basis. So, and the last thing that I would like to talk about is the consistency. Consistency is key to losing or gaining weight or gaining muscle throughout your entire diet plan. This is absolutely important, because even if you see these professional bodybuilders and things of that nature, one thing is very important in their schedule. Even if they miss a workout, that's fine, but one thing they do not mess with, it's their diets. They might take 1 or 2 cheat days in an entire month, but right after that, they again commit back to staying consistent with their diet. Even if you go 2 or 3 days with an inconsistent diet that throws off your entire diet plan, that can harm your body in ways that you can't even imagine. It's very easy to lose the shape that you build into, and that's why I urge you guys to take these points into account and hopefully choose a diet that's perfect for you guys, and hopefully construct a diet instead of just looking up a random diet on the internet. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully this will help some of you guys, and have an amazing new year. I'll see you